Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of the NFL Weekly Review. We weren't here last week. People were busy. Things had to be done. I don't know about next week yet, but we are here this week. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to let Jesse talk about his Eagles getting a big dub over the team that was being over Nick Befford. Big dub over Nick Befford. I'll do my best to be mature during this program. It's kind of difficult. With some paint by numbers scheme, and apparently you're colorblind. Shout out to Nick Mullins.
Can I call it a win? I'm not sure yet.
No, it's a win because in the record book, you guys are on the top of your division. That put us at the bottom of our division. Therefore,
I'm going to talk about that too.
We're definitely going to get to your division. There's plenty of time for that. We're going to take our time to get there, but we're going to talk about that. All right, we got Jesse Peel here, Rob Riley, Just. Hey, Rob, what's going on with Chicago, buddy? We can start there. How about that?
All right. I mean, if we must, it's fine. Nick Foles started. Nick Foles started, but I didn't see much of a change in the offense, which is kind of scary because I felt like I was watching the same team I had been watching the first 3 weeks. Couldn't put any points on the board. We ended up getting 3 points. That's it. That's all we got. And it's like, so what are we waiting for? When are we going to open up? But I also saw a lot of drop balls by the receiving core. I saw some bad play calling where I won't say bad, but just very questionable. Where it's like this is the guy that you wanted that was supposed to be the one to run the offense, to be comfortable in the offense. But I feel like we're still holding back. There's not. I don't see the play difference from when it was Foles and when it was Mitch. Looking at the same thing. Defensively, I wasn't too upset because that game could have been a lot worse than what it was. I mean, I don't like the fact that, we gave up so much, in yardage and whatnot. But the fact is that they only scored 19 points. 19 points in that game. We have to be able to score more than that. So eventually the defense is they're gonna be able to reap the rewards after their hard efforts or whatnot, because they're putting in the work. I'm sitting there watching this game and I'm going, dude, we can't continue to just get mad at the defense for not, getting those stops all the time. There were a few times where they got the stops they were needed, but we just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. So, I was a little disappointed in what I saw this week from the Bears, but fortunately for us, we're still 3-1. So, I mean, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna run with it. As Lovie Smith used to say, the first quarter of football is over. We have been successful. We came out on top. So I'm going to take it, but we're nowhere near what, the top guys in our division are, which is Green Bay. That's a well-oiled machine. And Chicago's way behind. So, going forward in the future, I don't know. I know it needs to get better, but defensively, I think we're going to be okay. Offensively, we got to turn it up. And shout out to the Colts. Let me not do that. I'm sorry. Shout out to the Colts because the Colts are like a really good football team right now. Defensively, they look very good, and on all three phases on the line, the linebackers, the corners, the DBs, like everybody looks good, man. And they play efficient football. They play winning football. They just keep digging. And every time I want to count them out, I'm going, oh, that's not the Colts from last year, the year before. This is a different team right now. So shout out to the Colts, man, for coming through the play.
All right. Anybody else want to chime in on Chicago, Indianapolis?
Yeah, please feel free, gentlemen.
It won't be me. That's enough.
Nobody want to talk about Mazda Mitch not starting?
I'm just holding off until Mitch gets his job back because some people are meant to be backups. I think it's too early for Foles. You know what I mean? I think you could have waited till 12, 13. He's a backup quarterback. He gave you a backup quarterback performance, and it's kind of you're in a weird spot because I don't know if he can handle a full season. And I think they didn't let him play. They played him like he was Mitch. I think you already kind of said that where they didn't let him just when he came in down, he was able to kind of freestyle, and run the offense and take some chances. And they played real safe against the Colts.
It's funny because we were talking about that a little while ago as far as Nick Foles, and he is that, like, when you try to hang something up on the wall and you put little stickers on the back of it and you're hoping that it holds up. Because you keep hearing a noise, like, okay, I think that's going to fall pretty soon. And I mean, Justin made the point. I think it's early. It's one of those things to where, 3-4 games, 5 games, you can probably hold it up. But if you start getting now and try to ride it for the rest of the season, that 3 interception game is coming.
You can't be dependent on the 6th man. Like, you're trying to start the 6th man and be like, this dude ain't the same dude we thought he was.
I mean, I said that when it first happened, when they grabbed Nick Foles, I was going, he may not be the answer, but I know who damn sure is not. And that's it. So, I mean, at this point, we got to move on because at least he's more comfortable in the offense. But again, I feel like they didn't really open up the offense for Nick on Sunday. So if you're not going to let him run the offense the way he knows he's comfortable with doing, then that's going to be the end result, what you saw on Sunday. So, we'll see.
All right. Let's move on to whose team. Who wants to talk about their team next? Promise you I'll be last. Trust me on that. Nothing nice to say. It's like, nah.
Yeah, me either.
You want to go, Justin? Yeah? That's
Sure you don't want to go, Justin?
I'm already queuing up the highlights.
This could be the whole hour.
Could it though?
It's a badly run franchise. That's what it is. Like this is what happens when you are trying to build you're picking players based off of jersey sales. Like you're not building a team. You're just putting people together, and it's not working. And it hasn't worked since the 90s. And you keep thinking you're one piece away, and it's the wrong piece. And all you're doing is messing up the cap. And we were like thinking, we might win a division at 8-8. Now we hoping to win a division at 6-10. Like you got embarrassed by the Browns, and you're gonna set a record for most points and most yards and be nowhere near the playoffs. Like they've become a joke. You're getting the Browns it was 41-14. And in watching it, you're like at the point where you're watching, you're saying to yourself, that's gonna bring them back, but it's never enough because you can't get a stop. It's just a badly run team, but it's not a surprise because you set in the draft and you took CeeDee Lamb, you let Byron Jones walk away, and you saw CeeDee Lamb sitting there, and they decided, let's just get another receiver. We got the worst defense in the league. Like, what's missing? A receiver. Like they never thought. They brought in a bad corner who's all over Jamar Chase highlight film, and expected him to be the number 1 corner. You know what I mean? Not just come on the field and maybe participate. And then he's lived up to that hype. He's the worst corner in the league, like one of the worst corners in the league. Only support, and they don't even throw at him because the other corner's worse than him. Then you find a safety who lasted a week. It's just a bad team. Jalen Smith is making a lot of money, and he might be the worst linebacker. I don't want to say on earth. I'll just say on that team.
My God.
He's a bad football player. I liked him coming out, and I think he aims for one spot, one step behind the offensive player. Like he's just the worst angles. I watched him chase Odell 75 yards. And I felt like he could have just reached out and touched him at some point. He just like he was racing or something. He's just. I mean, since he got that, he's just a bad football player. I think he needs to play in a small box, like where not an actual box, but a small area, and just run into people. That's all. That's what he accounts for. That's what he does. That's what he brings to the table. That's where they miss Van Der Esch, but you know what you got there, And then the defensive line, you got all these pass rushers, but you're getting bullied up front. I mean, the Browns. If Chubb could have ran for 300 if he played,
yeah.
He lasted the first half, had 100. Hunt came in, he probably had 100. 2 other guys who no one knows, they had about 75 apiece. And I mean, that's what you get. So that's what they asked for, and you can't fire Jerry, so this is just the way it's going to be for a while. That's all. But the offense is solid, and they're doing it without. They're missing. I mean, La'el Collins is probably out for the season. I haven't heard anything about Tyron Smith. So I mean, with all the issues on the offensive line, they're still scoring points. So I guess you got to give them that.
It's funny because that's something you had brought out even in the draft process. We started going over some of the players, and we started going through the draft, and all of a sudden you were like, watch Jerry draft a piece he doesn't need. And after he did it, you called it. You said, this is not the piece. This is not the thing that this team needs right now. And it's apparent. It's something that they literally, it shows almost on every play. The thing that's crazy to me was I used to always say Dak was dependent on his running game, and it had to be good in order for him to be successful. Dak is actually making that next step to being that other side of the ball is letting him down. You can't throw for that many yards, be that efficient in a football game, and then turn around and just watch your defense let Baker Mayfield walk down the field. Like, you can't let that happen on a regular basis. I shouldn't be in a position to talk about anybody's defense, but that team, it's so loaded in a sense of if you get the right piece on the defense side of the ball, that team could be serious.
I'm only laughing because Justin, months before the draft, will tell me about players that he would like his team to take a stab on. I'm talking about like third week of college football season, and as the year goes on, it progresses. We get to like a finite list, and then we take the list. You draw a box around the list, and he's confident every single year that they're not going to touch any of those players on said list with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
This has been easily for the last 3 years. Does it all the time. It's consistent. So that's why I was just trying not to laugh, because I've heard him like go. It's so bad. That's why you can't even hear like the pain or emotion. It's like detached.
Yeah,
like he's been there that much.
Yeah.
It's literally detached.
It's making me better. It's making me better at scouting because I have no ties to any team anymore. I'm just watching football. I was like legit rooting for Odell.
Oh man, but yeah. No, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, it's sad, right? One of the few things you can highlight on the defense is somebody who's been out of football for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, his God-given ability is crazy, but again, the fact that he can find that he might be one of your most consistent players,
that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, no one had OTAs, anything. Like, it's a weird year, and he looks like it's a shell of him, but he looks like some version of him, right? And again, and like you said with Jalen, he's going through it, but like at the same time, why if folks want to hold Jalen to it, I kind of want to look at some of the other guys next to Alden and also in front of Jalen. Like, y'all know who's behind you. Y'all have to keep him clean. If he's not clean, this is what you get. This is literally what happens when, like, it falls apart step by step, right? 3 levels of the defense, and that first level, they letting people get to Jalen, and it's a wrap after that. We know Jalen in space, he's fast, fly to the ball, but like Justin said, the angles thing is kind of tough. So then you throw in the fact that he gotta sift through traffic. It's a dub. It's done there. He's not sifting through traffic on a good day.
Putting too much on. That's way too much to put on that guy. He can't. That's not his wheelhouse. His wheelhouse is, I need you guys to do what y'all supposed to do so that I can do me, because that's all I got. That's all I got.
I got these 4 things I do. Right.
And 3 of them depend on you 4.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's tough, but Jesse, you got a happy thing to talk about, so go ahead, man.
Okay. Happy in the sense of, all right, last week, my team did something that I never thought would be done, and it's found a way for me to feel nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. They tied in a game, and I figured football would bring me some sort of feeling, and it brought me absolutely nothing. So this week had to do anything. So a loss, a win. And even in a win, I just felt like there were just too many holes and too many things that still didn't look right. But the one thing that I did like that they did, for Carson was the play action. Give him a second to actually breathe, to take a look, make the defense pause for a second, because honestly, I'm going to say it, Warner's top 3 linebackers in the league. That dude scares me to death every time I see him play football. So I figured he'd have a field day. So if they get a second to breathe and a look, I like that a lot. And that's the one thing I did pull off of that. But he was throwing to a bunch of dudes that I honestly had to look and Google and figure out who's number 82, who's this dude, who's that dude. But even if he did have a starters at this point, he's leaking confidence. You can just see that he's not playing well. So, and can we stop this whole Nate Gary experiment? Like, he's not a starting linebacker. We gotta get. He took a beating this week. Like, it was so apparent how bad he was. Like, all right, we all know 85 is one of the best tight ends in the league. Like, that's just, we know that. But what happened on this field was just a baptism. Like, it was insane between him and Wallace. Wallace at the same time, he's a rookie, he's getting ready to, he's starting to understand the league, trying to figure his way. But Gary just looks. There's one clip of him with his back turned to the line of scrimmage. He was literally looking into the secondary. And I don't know what play call that was. I don't know who taught him that. I don't know what technique that is. I don't know where he learned that. But that's not football, and I want him off my team. But we won, so I guess I'm supposed to be happy. I don't know, but it's just I'm still not. There's still too many problems. There's still too many things that every year I get to watch this team find a way to pass on a receiver that we should have got. And I'm tired of that too. So it's just, we got a corner. Fix the defense. No, it doesn't. There's too many other holes. We have linebackers that were on this team previously who played well, who are still in free agency right now, that I guarantee you they're not even looking back at. Nigel Bradham is still sitting out there right now, but we got Nathan Gary still sitting in this team. I can't take this squad some days, but we won, so I guess being the top of a trash heap of a division is supposed to be a thing to be happy about. Okay, I got it.
It could be worse. It could legit be worse, right? Carson has nobody to throw to. The backup guy that played for us had everyone to throw to. Full complement of weapons. Found a way to do nothing with it. Had a whole defense available to them. Yeah, it's crazy. Maurice was 85. Meanwhile, everyone is just frolicking through the secondary. And then if they do get the ball to people in the secondary, they didn't want no parts. Debo caught a pass. I saw 2 people was like, no, I'm good. And I don't understand how as a quarterback, it's this difficult. Like, Debo caught the ball. I literally saw the safety. He took 2 steps and was like, yeah, I'm good. And luckily the corner took a good angle, so he had to run out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you had at your disposal. Like, it was literally paint by numbers. They made sure you, not the starting quarterback, had your obviously they were missing Raheem Mostert, but you had everything available to you. It could not be that hard. I know Darius Slay's out there, no disrespect to him. He's still really good, but the things that gives Darius Slay trouble is speed. Terry McLaurin gave him some work last year. Ayuk, he had dude on his heels. Nick found a way where the only thing he saw was 85. And I love 85 to death, brother, but people's open. And look, you were talking about the linebackers. Don't get me started. Whole middle of the field available, and you're in the offense, which is nothing but they were running nothing but big slants and drags, and you found a way to make it difficult. You literally found a way to make it difficult. The linebackers didn't want to hit anybody. The safeties didn't want to hit anybody. And you still found a way to hold on to the ball. It was like, and again, the Eagles pass rush, it is amazing. By all means, it is amazing. But again, every level beyond them, what's causing you to hold the ball? Love Fletcher Cox. Being completely honest. Love Fletcher, Brandon Graham. They were eating. But again, in an offense that's literally paint by numbers, bro, it's just get the ball out your hands. They do all the work. And you failed. It just wasn't difficult. You brought up Nate Gary. I don't know the 2 dudes who played next to him. They're hardly better than him. At least they're facing the right direction. but it's not like they were like that was a difficult second level of a defense to deal with. Like there were holes everywhere. Like it was again like I keep going back to the Debo runs ghost motion. I watched for a whole year last year every defense in the NFL reacted to that dude going to ghost motion except the Eagles on Sunday. No one moved. Nick found a way to also ignore Debo. How? Dude's 5 feet to the right of you. You could have shoveled it, kicked it, punted it, whatever you want to do. Nobody was over there. The whole Eagles defense was like, we're focused on what's happening over here. And Nick found a way to just mess it up. So I guess the Niner fans, y'all need to put some respect on James' name. Be respectful. There's a reason that Raheem got paid. There's a reason James got paid. There's a reason that James' record is what it is. You don't have to like how he goes about his business. But I know for damn sure you missed it. Because all them holes, that defense, that's 400. That's 400 on them dudes right there. Easy 400. And again, not being mean, just being honest, like that's an easy 400. Nobody's back there, play action or nothing. And again, it killed me to watch a beautiful offense stymied because someone couldn't move. No bootlegs, no nothing. Like the whole thing was dead because you had some undrafted free agent dude who it's cool, cute story, fun times, bro. You stink. You shouldn't be playing. And honestly, I know CJ Beathard went through some stuff. You even got your spot on a technicality. He doesn't lose his brother last year. He's probably not in the place he is mentally that he had to come out of. And again, I know it was premium defense or whatever, but that was the same offensive line. How come CJ was getting the ball out of his hands? The ball was coming out.
Yeah.
And again, not to try to be too mean, but that prevent defense wasn't too much different than everything you saw for 3 quarters. What's your issue? It's just not that hard. You took something that's so simple and made it hard. But moving on to other people that make things hard, we're going to talk about another team in both y'all's division. Oh, man, this is fun times. I knew this was going to happen. Literally talking about this on our show, The Focus, last night. And, I just kind of spazzed off because I've talked to a couple – one of my other guys is a Redskins fan and a Washington football fan. I was telling him, I was like, this is the jacked-up situation because everyone's mad at the quarterback, but we're supposed to just finally give faith to this second-year offensive coordinator who's literally accomplished nothing in this league. Your dad's amazing. You were just his son. And I want the same energy people gave Kyle for being Mike's son. And Kyle actually is with the stuff. Like, he has some stuff with him. He can coach a little bit. I don't know what not Norv can do. No one does. I know it doesn't work. I know Christian McCaffrey made a horrible offense look pedestrian because Christian McCaffrey is freaking special. That's it. That's all I have for you. I also remember watching Kyle Allen last year. I don't know what y'all doing, how y'all think it's about to get better, but that's very interesting to me. And a lot of people got online today to about, oh man, it's a race thing. That's why everybody's mad. No, it's not even a race thing for me. My thing is, it's the way we go about it. How do you keep choosing who gets time and who doesn't? Baker finally had a good game, albeit against the Cowboys. And everybody was like, oh yeah, it was worth it. Man, them last 2 years before this wasn't worth it. It was horrible. Like any other, you put Lamar in that situation, even with Freddie Kitchens in that situation with them weapons, you think that record's gonna be that bad? Give Lamar somebody like Odell just for a little bit. David Njoku running just free across the middle of the field. You think it's gonna be difficult? And an offensive line. You had an O-line before you traded for Odell. Baker had an O-line. It got better now, but how is this bad? And everything was cool. Daniel Jones, Lord, that dumpster fire in New York, we're quiet and we're supposed to have patience and all this other stuff. Man, Jared Goff's still stealing money. Sean McVay out here turning water into wine. I don't know how that works. Nick Mullins. Turning water into wine. Offensive system. Outstanding. You just have to execute it because it's paint by numbers. But we gave Jared Goff time. Matter of fact, Jared Goff got paid and still nobody really gave him the stuff you should really give somebody. Being at the controls of offense like that. Bro, you had Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, and Cooper Kupp for a second. How, Sway? I know that division stuff, but how, Sway? Shouldn't be that hard to score. Everybody in that division does not have a top-notch defense. It's just being real. They don't. Everyone got some mutants on every team, but everybody don't got a good defense. Seattle's defense been bad since the LOB left. It's been bad. Just insert random really good player, still trash. Oh, look, we're mediocre. So how are you struggling? And you had an O-line, you had a Todd Gurley, like you had a lot of stuff that other folks didn't get. Dwayne's out here in Washington. I like Antonio Gibson. I have no problems with Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson spent college playing wide receiver. He's a starting running back in the NFL now. And we're worried about Dwayne. So we're asking Antonio Gibson to be Christian McCaffrey in this offense. He can't do that yet. That's not going to happen. I don't know what to tell you. But we're going to judge this all on Dwayne. And again, not to knock Ron and everything over there, but it's how can we pick it? Sam Darnold. We can look at the Jets objectively and be like, Sam didn't have a chance. But then you look at Washington and be like, man, Dwayne's trash. Washington's been horrible. They've been like, it's literally been malpractice over there for like decades. And you're giving them the benefit of the doubt for what? I don't quite understand it. So again, has nothing to do with race. But at the same time, part of the truth is that, black quarterbacks get a way shorter leash than,
absolutely.
They're Baylor brothers at the position. Some folks Mitchell get a lot of leash. Like, you got to do a lot before they be like, you know what? We really messed up on that pick. You trying to tell me that the Bears ain't realized they messed up day 2?
Yeah.
5 years later, we're over here like, well, you know what? It's your last chance, Mitchell. Why? Why did you last this long? Why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like 2 weeks ago, Lamar has a bad game against Kansas City. Not going to get me started on his offensive coordinator. And it's, oh, man, we're going to just issue on the MVP. Huh?
Right.
But Danny Dimes, I don't know how we got a name like that where the ball never goes past the line of scrimmage. But here we are. Like, it's just hard for me to understand how folks can't see what, when something happens or when something doesn't make sense and nobody questions it. Like, we're just supposed to okay it. Like, this isn't the Patriots organization benching a quarterback. Bill Belichick does it. I'll be like, all right, well, you know what? You probably need to get your stuff together, brother. That's on you. Bill said you need more time. Ron, the dude, love you. Wish you the best with the fight that you're dealing with outside of football. But again, going back to like your coaching, if you didn't stumble upon a whole transcendent talent, we looking at a whole chunk of your career differently too. I know Rob remembers a different part of your career. You know what I'm saying? Like it's there was a whole chunk with a certain somebody and a whole chunk without it. And how are we here? Derek Carr in Oakland, Gruden getting, he got the passes. Derek Carr's fall off top. Oakland's been running to the ground. Like, I don't get it. I could spaz forever, but you guys go ahead and share your thoughts on what you think. Go ahead.
But so, of course, that's been the talk of the day because that's been the biggest story that's come out outside of everything that's going on with the COVID cases. But initially, when I heard it, I just thought I went right to the school where he came from. I'm like, Ohio State. Well, Ohio State quarterbacks generally don't pan out very well in the league. Like, we've seen it. That's history. Those guys end up turning into receivers, tight ends, whatever the case may be, and it has a lot to do with their system. Not saying they can't play the quarterback position, but maybe they're not ready to do it at the next level. So automatically, that's where I first went. But then when I saw that he got pushed down to the third string, he's behind Alex Smith. That's when I said, this is personal. This don't have nothing to do with football. Something happened, and it was mismanaged. The whole situation was mismanaged to begin with, because if you didn't think Haskins was ready, you should have never put him in that position. You should have put somebody else in that position because you knew last year. Like, he hasn't really changed from last year to this year. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's still the same person. So it's something else going on there. And like you said, Washington has been – their organization has been bad for a long time. I mean, look at the name of the team right now. And that name was chosen because they couldn't come up and figure out and say, hey, we can't say that other name anymore. Too many people are getting pissed off and upset. They want to keep the name. So they say, how about this? You're the Washington football team from now on. That right there should tell you that just everything that's going on inside those front offices and, with management and the coaching staff, they're not on the same page. I don't really see them as knowing what they're doing. Like, you can't tell me that he played that awful in this game where you put him at the third string quarterback. This is personal. There's something else going on here. And like you said, Wilson, I agree that the African-American or the black quarterback in the NFL definitely has a shorter leash. You know, like I still think that with Haskins, like I don't know, there's still something about him where I just was never really sold on Haskins too much as a quarterback myself. Like I just wasn't impressed. You know, like he did what he did at Ohio State, but Ohio State's offense is pretty basic in my eyes. They got, you know, weapons to get them down the field. The quarterback just got to hit, boom, just keep hitting. That's it. You know, but they couldn't figure it out for him in the NFL. Plus, those defenses are a little bit faster for him. So I just right off the break, like I said, I was just like, okay, well, I mean, maybe he just wasn't ready. But then, like I said, when I saw it was a third string thing, I'm like, yeah, there's something else going on out there. So I'm not a big fan of the move because of how it has transpired. But I honestly, I think Haskins got to get up out of Washington. That's gonna be the only way he's gonna be able to thrive. He got to go. You got to find a way out somehow, some way.
Jesse or Justin?
You go ahead, Justin.
I think it's a bad situation for him just based off of he didn't walk into a good team. Like he's not your normal Ohio State quarterback because he's a pocket guy. And in this new this time we're living in now is more this like where the game is now. It's more of a you create a bad play call. He needs the offense to be set a certain way because there's not too many guys that can throw the ball like this guy can. You know, he can throw the deep in route, post. He can throw every route, but you're expecting him to bail you out the way a Cam Newton can, the way Lamar Jackson can. Like the game's not set up that way. So I think it's gonna be the learning curve is gonna be different. So you're gonna have those bad plays, and they're not. This isn't a good team. You know, he has McLaurin, but the rest of those guys, he's got undrafted players around him. You know, he doesn't have a great run game, a great offensive line. So I think where they're messing up is what do you expect from the guy? I mean, there's no one when they brought in Kyle Allen, when they brought in some of those different people, it was a slap in the face to him anyway. Like, why would you go get Kyle Allen, knowing that he came from Carolina? So it's kind of basically telling him he's on the clock. And then talking about Alex Smith, like he can't barely walk, but they're talking about him taking the job. So they've been playing with the guy's head, and how do you know in 13 games with two different coaching staffs and different sets of coordinators and a bad roster? You know, so I think he's a tough spot. And then the way, sadly, you've finished this season terribly. Like, I don't see teams going and grabbing him. You know, hopefully he doesn't get the Rosen situation where, you know, he kind of just becomes poison, you know, because whatever they're doing to him, it sounds like they're going to make it seem like it's an attitude problem or, like you said, it sounds like he had an issue with a coach because you don't become third string behind a guy who hasn't ran in 2 years. You know, like what could Alex Smith have done to go over the top of him or Kyle Allen or anybody? So obviously they've given up on him. So I mean, the guy's not going to play in Washington. So we pretty much know that. But it is because he's not a great athlete. He's a thrower. He's a pocket guy, and they're kind of becoming extinct. You know, but if given the chance and put around with the right coach, maybe goes to a Tampa Bay or something, you know, or somewhere where he can actually be a pocket guy and they develop him. That's what he needs.
Yeah, and he's a rhythm thrower too. So it's like if it gets off schedule, you can see kind of get a little off kilter for him. It's interesting to me though the fact that, like we talked about earlier, a lot of these quarterbacks will get time because a lot of the front office is so invested. When I heard that this happened, I was not shocked because of just who the front office is, like who it is. I mean, this team's always had some issues, starting from the top coming back down. But it was the Alex Smith thing that threw me off. Like that was okay, something's up here. Because we saw the special with Alex Smith and saw how bad his injury was. And to have that situation say, okay, that guy is going to jump in front of you who has been the starter for these past, however many games, that says something totally different about the way you're running your team. I saw the stats and I found it interesting. It said Josh Allen's first 11 starts, he was 163 for 305, 2,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. And Haskins was 196 for 327, 2,164 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 6 picks. Same period of time. Same number of starts. One of them, they let Josh Allen just, those first year, 2 were just wild. You can see the ball all over the place. But they said, we're going to wait. We're going to see how this thing goes. And it just doesn't seem like Dwayne Haskins, and we've seen other quarterbacks that look just like him, that's had kind of the same issues and the same, short leash. The fact that I keep going back to Buffalo and keep thinking like Nathan Peterman started one game and we all knew how bad that was. It was so bad that I started the Chargers defense because I knew how bad it was going to be. And you saw it just crumble. And it was like, what else do you need? But this is the way, these quarterbacks are being shoveled in. They're not getting the time. They're not getting that development that they would need. Tampa would be a great spot for Haskins. He really would, because at that point, the culture's already there. And after Brady, they could just give him time and figure out, like, okay, this is how you go through when the line breaks down, when the play's breaking down. This is what I need you to do. I don't need you to be Cam. I need you to be this. And he needs that. But unfortunately, he's going to end up like in Miami or Cleveland or something like that, and his career is going to falter after that.
He plays for a football team called the football team. Like that,
right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
These other teams are well ran franchise. Like as bad as Allen was playing, they didn't put it on him. As bad as Wentz is playing right now, they're not putting it on him. That's the difference. This team, they don't know what they're doing. Like we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago, he shouldn't be throwing the ball 48 times. No. He's slow footed. That's his issue. He has heavy feet, but he can throw a football. So why he should be handing the ball off? But you have a receiver playing running back. So what is he dependent on? You're putting it all on him, and he's failing, which he's supposed to. So I think it's a badly run franchise, and that's the issue. Fortunately, they're in the NFC East, so only a half game out of first place.
Right. Well, the crazy thing about it is I keep hearing excuses today that Rivera's trying to win now. That's why he's going with Allen. No, he's not. He's trying to win what? Does anybody know? Anybody? Anyone? No. Okay. I don't know what he's trying to win now. And when I start to hear those excuses, and then I go back to, but they put Alex Smith in front of this man, like Alex Smith is going to get up and start playing football tomorrow if Kyle Allen goes down. Like, be realistic. What are we doing, man? Like, I don't know, man. They need to figure it out. But I'd rather see him out of Washington with a different franchise. Hopefully he can, get behind somebody, take us some time and kind of just soak in what's going on in this league, understand the business aspect first so it doesn't affect you mentally. Because this could be something that affects him mentally simply because I'm sure he's trying to figure out, so you put me behind the guy that just almost broke his whole body in half. You put me behind him. Okay, so you didn't like something I said, something I did. It wasn't about the interceptions. It wasn't about my reads. It wasn't about the awful old line play that you expected me to do better with. This is something else. Got it. So I don't know, man. I'm hoping for the best for the kid, but I just know something ain't right in Washington. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping hope he finds a way out. Man, send him out west. We got time to rest up, be good backup.
Did you read something about him saying that he didn't get any snaps in practice? Like I
read that.
He didn't get any
snaps today. They were saying the fourth string guy, undrafted rookie, was getting snaps, and he's the only guy that didn't take. He didn't take one snap today. And
that's perfect.
Like I said, just send him to the Bay, and I'm gonna take a wild guess. Not gonna speculate too long. I bet you he probably asked the OC a question about that broke offense. Asked for one of the many whys, and he couldn't answer why his offense is broken.
Yeah.
Like I'll just take a wild guess. Just like you're telling me to do all this stuff. Like everyone broke down. I heard Ron talk about oh man, that fourth down play. We're just trying to see what he could do. All right, look, we looked at that play a couple times, man. That just wasn't a good play. Nobody was going across the goal line. You had 3 people bunched up in one area. The defense is like, well, if y'all all gonna be over there, y'all can guard each other. We'll stay here, watch what's going on. Protect the sticks. He can't really run anywhere. I think we got all the bases covered. What are we doing? No, Dan Orlovsky put up a couple clips yesterday, and it's like you got dudes running within arm's reach of each other. When he went to throw the ball to somebody running a crossing route, the dude in front of the dude tipped it away from the dude. That wasn't the pass was intended to. And we're seriously not questioning this offense. Like, are we serious? We're really not gonna question this offense.
Right. Why are those two guys in the same area at the same time? Like, why is that happening? You right?
The crazy part is he probably called them out in a film session. Yes, we've seen that. Like, hey, why are we doing this? As soon as that question went up, they probably got real quiet in the room.
I feel like that. I feel like because what else? It doesn't seem like to me personally like he's just gonna pop off the coach or anything. I feel like, but asking the why to that offense that has you can't answer why because it doesn't make any sense. I feel like that'll do it. Obviously, it's just speculation, but again, even if Kyle Allen comes in, just because he knows the sticky offensive and might move a little bit, Christian McCaffrey does not play for Washington. I don't get it. It is like you went to go get whatever, and again, this is just bad teams stay bad for a reason. You go draft somebody whether you like them, hate them, whatever. Your job as a coaching staff is to fit things to their fit things to their strengths. That's on you. Like again, the coaching part of it. So it's like,
it's tough.
You accidentally get Terry McLaurin. He can stretch the field, and I'm supposed to believe that the guy that can stretch the field, possibly a young and up and coming wide receiver 1 prospect in this league, right? With the dude with a huge arm, y'all can't make 1 + 1 = 2.
Right.
It's hard for me to grasp that. Like it really is. It's really hard. So that dude runs really, really, really fast. That dude has a really, really, really big arm, and we're gonna run crossing routes. Seriously. Yeah. But we're not at the kid. You had a whole offseason where you didn't address the skill position players. You gave Trent Williams away for nothing. You told AP, just go home, dog. We don't need you. But again, the offense coordinator should not be questioned. The offense was broke last year, Carolina. Oh, wait, that's right. We got fired because they're here now. Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing when it happens? When everyone gets fired as a staff and you guys have to move away as a staff?
No.
It's
terrible. That's a very bad thing.
Okay. And again, this goes to it's from a personal standpoint, Jess, you brought that up. I feel like the OC probably felt some type of way about Cam too, because Cam's out there. This whole we want to win thing. He also knows your offense. Why swear? You didn't mess with your thing like that.
Allen was free.
Oh, God, right. The dude who accidentally won a couple games while Kuechly, you the reason Kuechly's gone. You did this. This is what y'all did. The year you were quarterback my man was like, you know what? I'm good off this. Well, it's fine. I'm good. We're not playing to win. I don't wish to do this anymore. I don't like getting in car accidents for L's. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, this is what happened under y'all's watch. Nobody questions any of it. Y'all were also the same folks that got Curtis Samuel. It took 3 years to figure out how to use him.
Oh.
You had Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore. It took a while to get that 1 + 1 = 2. It took a minute. Right. Wait, they're both fast? Oh, my gosh. Wait, Christian, this is tough. Rob, I need your help. I don't know how to get all 3 of them on the field at the same time and open up the field for everybody else. Like, it's a joke. Like, how do we look at something that's run like that and not question it? It'd be like, oh, the kid's horrible. Even with the Ohio State things, and the reason I feel a little differently about him with the Ohio State thing, because, like you guys said, he's not like most of the Ohio State dudes that came out of there.
Right.
He's not. All the other guys were like, you're the best athlete on the field. Hey, get under center. I know Dwayne ain't never been the best athlete on the field.
Right. That's true.
Plus, we all knew Troy Smith. We knew Troy Smith's issues, right off the rip. We kind of knew what he could do and what he couldn't. So when he came out of college, we all just kind of he ain't gonna be a starter. Like, we knew that Haskins was something different to me. It was like there were pieces there. You just have to know what are the best pieces for him to use, and it's that arm.
Was that word he was using? The C word, that terrible word. What was it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
a coaching thing, right?
I,
Get somebody-
I don't know what you're talking about, because clearly that's not the more important part of the Haskins issue. We're not gonna coach him. We're just gonna blame him. Oh no, it's your fault. You're supposed to know. You went to the Ohio State. You don't know this stuff.
like that's the part.
It's just not fair
That's
to him.
crazy to me, man. Like that's crazy to me. Like again, I keep bringing it back up. You know, McVay, Kyle, and things like that. But again, or even like look at Josh McDaniels this year. You might have a preconceived idea about how you do things, but you gotta fix things to go with your guy. You know, Kyle's offense with Atlanta, where Matt's out there throwing downfield all over the yard, outside the numbers. That's not who James is. So he was like, cool. You like throwing in between the hashes. You accurate with it. So let's go get you some people who like running across the middle of the field, and we're gonna have a yak party. Cool. Let's go get more of those people for you. New England, Tom couldn't use those weapons. Cam was like, cool. Let's boogie. Again, to your stretch, you figure out what you can and can't do. But again, that's coaching. But long story, another day. Let's move on to week 5 coming up. This should be fun. The Rams are taking on the Washington football team. So Kyle Allen, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, fun times. What you guys liking this one?
Rams.
Double digits.
Take the over.
Yes.
Not take the over. You guys are mean. Justin, you too?
A good matchup to watch would be the Rams trying to run the ball against the Redskins D line. That'd be interesting, but at the same time, the Rams are going to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are so nice. All right, we got the Bills and Titans. The 4-0 Bills against the 3-0 Titans, who should soon have losses because they apparently had a COVID party and are getting people infected.
Right.
So shout out to the Titans.
You think they're going to play?
The
I don't
opposite.
know. I hope they don't.
That was
I
my
hope they don't.
yeah.
Just give them the forfeit. Like, this is y'all. Y'all knew what it was. You knew the protocols you had to follow, and y'all took it for play. And give them like 3 L's.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with this whole situation is that we knew coming into the year that this is going to be tough because COVID somebody's going to get it. Somebody's going to test positive. It's going to be a bit of an outbreak because there's so many people involved in these NFL teams. 53-man roster, personnel, officials, ball boys, and then you got the press that's there, the little bit of media they do have there. So it's just so much going on. Plus, we don't know if these dudes are really going home like they're supposed to after these games and after practices because there's no bubble, and you can't really do a bubble for football, at least not for the regular season. So you knew it was coming, man. But after they canceled that game last week with Tennessee, and then 2 more positive tests came out today, I'm like, they may not even play because, like you said, Will, they may almost have to be like, hey, y'all got to take this L because we can't spread this around, but you guys can't be on the field, and we can't just keep exposing these guys to it, man. But I don't know if there is a game. I think I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I like the way Buffalo is playing right now. I'm feeling that vibe out there, man, on the East Coast. So I'm gonna ride with Buffalo.
All right, you guys are all with Josh Allen, the MVP as well.
No. Oh,
Don't do that.
don't quote me on that train. Oh,
Right. Don't do that.
I will say this. I'm with the Bills as far as this win of the game. It's weird. Like the NFL just seems like they had the idea. They knew this could be a possibility, but they just kept saying, "We'll figure it out. We'll be okay." And the more these things happen, I mean, the worse it's going to get. And they got to understand too that at a certain point, not only is it bad for your players, but if you're going to look at your bottom line, it looks bad for the NFL in the sense of like they just keep throwing people out there, just crossing their fingers and hoping that nothing bad happens. But this is one of those things that, again, we don't know how it's going to affect people 5 years from now. So that if a player's career is affected at this point 5 years from now, like this is just a bad look just for everybody in the NFL. So they need to figure this thing out.
So Justin, you too, Bills.
The week's coming where he's going to throw 5 picks. I just want to put this out there. Because he's still reckless. Like, they should have lost to the Rams. And the defense isn't playing as well as they as well as they did last year. He things are going well for him. I can't go all in on him, and I respect him. What he's doing is impressive. He's a leader. He plays hard, but he's still, when things get tight, it can go either way for him. That's right. But if they play, I'm gonna go with the Titans. I'm gonna go with the Titans. That's my.
My man over here just waiting for the bad Josh game to show up. Just like, I know it's coming.
It's coming, man. It's coming.
It's like you can't keep escaping death. It's gonna happen. Somebody still need to go to the other team. It's gonna happen.
He is pretty reckless with the rock though. I like he like to sling that joint around, man. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and take this chance, son. It's like,
Diggs, go get it. Diggs, go get it.
Hands and putting the ball down to stiff arm somebody.
But you want to know what the perfect thing is? You went out and got Diggs where he's so starved for targets. He'll take however you throw the ball up to him. I'll fix it. Sure, I'll take it. Kirk is out there like, I can't. You're too far away. I don't like that one. No. Check down. No. Thielen. No. Throw away. Sorry. So we got Eagles, Steelers. Jesse, who you liking this one?
Oh no, this one's definitely going bad.
Okay. Wow.
This is the Steelers defense is serious, and our offensive line's already beat up. The situation that Carson can start seeing ghosts, and that's kind of I'm worried about as far as he can put a couple picks in that game and it can start going bad. So I got Steelers.
All right, Robert, Justin.
I got Steelers too. Although this could be a bit of a trap because the Steelers didn't play last week, so they got to kind of get back, into that game feel. Philly coming off a pretty nice win themselves, so who knows? Anything can happen. But I'm gonna go with the Steelers in this game. But I think it may be a little bit closer than what most people are thinking.
I think I'm gonna go with the Steelers also, but I feel like the Eagles might have discovered something last week. That the face of the franchise, which will be Miles Sanders, is what they need to run their offense through. Unfortunately, you're paying Carson all his money, but you're playing him like he's a rookie. Play safe. Look, your first read's not there, run. But that's what works. That's what's working for them. But but Pittsburgh's just too physical. Pittsburgh's a good team, and even if they hang around a little bit, they can't play with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm going with Pittsburgh. Unlike our defense, they got their edge guys. They got their guys that can finish, and they will. I got faith that they'll do that. And also, Nick Mullins doesn't play quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Knew that was coming.
They're in pretty good shape. Those linebackers might get treated accordingly for 4 quarters now. Not so much laughing people with stars, pick sixes, celebrating, all types of stuff they only did on Madden. Shout out to Nick Mullins. All right, we got the Cardinals and the Jets. The Cardinals 2-2. Joe Flacco's playing for the Jets. No Sam Darnold. Y'all want me to stop or keep going? So.
Sorry, I fell asleep for a second. My bad.
All right, cool. So we got the Raiders and Chiefs.
Did you say Joe Flacco's playing?
Yes.
All right, well, you did good to skip that then. All right.
You will see the most lethargic throws you'll ever see in your entire life from somebody who doesn't care about football, or at least it looks like doesn't care about football anymore.
That's about to be funny.
That game is going to be so bad. Babe, pass it. First quarter, that's it. I'm not watching that, man.
That's accurate. Raiders, Chiefs. Raiders at Kansas City. And again, for those teams that got the big home crowd advantage, no one has fans really. Except Florida teams because they don't care about life. They're going to let everybody in. Florida. Gotta love it. So yeah, Raiders, Chiefs. You guys go ahead.
Chiefs.
This one actually is funny because this is the one that the Chiefs are just coming off of that Patriots game, and everybody's talking about how good they aren't. So this could be that showcase game. They were like, "Oh, really? All right, you'll see 5 touchdowns, by Patrick Mahomes or at a rushing. It's gonna be one of those kind of games." So I got the Chiefs.
Anybody object to that? No one speaking up in favor of the Oakland Raiders, or I'm
Well,
sorry, Las Vegas.
That's
they
right. Well, I will say this because after seeing Stephon Gilmore just got tested positive for COVID, right? So
Mhm.
him and Pat Mahomes is real close after the game. Like I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with some of these test results when they come back. I don't know if that may change something. If that changes, like if that pulls people out, this game can be a lot different.
Yeah.
But everybody's playing. No question, it definitely will be Kansas City. But I'm intrigued to see how this is going to play out because it's like, damn, you just tested positive, but you was all in Pat Mahomes' face like, good pass, boy. Like, wait a minute, man, it's 6 feet, social distance. Where's your mask? Like, why am I the only person that's there? Like, seriously, what are we doing? This is my fantasy right now. That's what I'm real nervous about.
There we go.
There it is.
I can't catch COVID.
That definitely reeked of something that had personal gain. All right. It's horrible. Jaguars, Texans. I'm not stopping there. We got Bengals, Ravens. Not stopping there. Oh, yeah. Well, no, we got to stop there because Bill O'Brien, the GM and the coach, are fired. It's kind of late. You probably could have kept DeAndre Hopkins while also doing this. It's crazy. You could have done this and kept DeAndre Hopkins. But shout out to JJ Watt, standing up, being an ally, going to do what Deshaun probably didn't want him to do. Man, winning
JJ Watt freak out.
That's the thing.
That's what it took.
JJ Watt probably asked the same thing that Dwayne Haskins asked. The Texans acted accordingly.
Probably asked that 4 weeks in a row, and finally JJ was like, "Wait a minute, I think he's right." O'Brien the next day.
JJ woke up and was like, "Hold on, I know that play, and that one too. What are we doing?"
Hey, I was trying to figure out why Hopkins got more catches than the other 3 receivers that replaced him.
Mm-hmm.
Bill O'Brien should have been fired a long time ago. That's all I'm saying. And then they're going to say, well, I had to fire the GM, and since you're also the coach, I had to fire you too. No, you need to fire the GM and the coach. You should have said that, period. Like, both of y'all suck. Okay? You got to go.
They need to stop. They got to stop doing this thing where you hire people that are around other people that are smart.
Yeah.
Like, you got to stop doing it. Just because they had lunch with them, were on their staff, doesn't mean they learned jack, Bill O'Brien, at all. Like, not even a little bit. Because, like, this is the thing about Bill. It seems like the people he cares about, he either actively fights to hold on to and loses, or you stay in New England. You never leave. You never. Josh McDaniels is like on a lifetime deal up there. Every time he thinks about going away, no, I'm happy. He interviews for like 15 jobs. No, I'm going to stay in New England. Yeah, because it's like, why? why do this? Why? Ravens, Bengals. No takers? No?
It's interesting, though. I want Burrow against that defense. I really do. I'm not seeing that.
I don't. Joe's been getting so much this year. And Baltimore's still coming off of that embarrassment. I just don't want Joe to make it to the following week. I did. I hope y'all did. Y'all see the cool little video that Chad and Carson. Is it Carson? Was it what? Not Carson. What was his name? Who was the Bengals quarterback? It was Carson Palmer, right?
Carson Palmer, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I forgot. So Chad and Carson, they like did a video congratulating. From the old 985 to the new 985, congratulating Burrow and Higgins. So you guys check that on Twitter. That was pretty cool. But that's definitely 1-3-1 after this week. Ravens on the path. Greg Roman trying to keep his job. You're gonna see some good offense. Panthers, Falcons.
I'm actually gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Atlanta in this game. Believe it or not, I think they're
Take me over.
they're due. I think Atlanta has to win. I think they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna pull out this win. They at the crib. You know,
they
they're gonna
figure out to pounce on an onside kick, but they're gonna figure out how to win a game.
Hey, dude, it may happen. It just might happen. I'm looking at this game. I'm just going, I don't know, man. It's something about it makes me want to pick Atlanta this time. Not all season.
They're like a Final Destination movie. Like it's just you just watching to see how it's going, and it's not good. It's never good. They found a spectacular way to lose 3 of the 4 games this season. Like an exceptional way to lose, and I'm supposed to believe it's gonna stop. Yeah, that's hard for me, man. I'm gonna tune in and see how they do it this week, though.
Yeah,
I don't want them to. It's entertaining. Like
They literally find a new way to fumble the bag every week.
That onside kick
I
was
almost picked that minute
amazing.
too until you guys started talking.
You said what? What'd you say, Justin?
I said I almost picked them. I was almost picked Atlanta too, and then he said it, and I was like, you know, I think I'm with him. And then y'all started attacking him, and I was
right. Justin, you obviously feel something about that game where it's like I kind of just want to lean toward Atlanta, and I don't want to bet on them. I'm not switching.
Right.
I think they might get it done.
Talented. Like, you know, they have talent on offense. And you're like, the Panthers are the type of team that they're not like they're a better team than the Panthers. They have better players than the Panthers.
Yeah.
But it's like but teams that always find a way to lose, like there's ability there. But it's like you're weighing that talent versus the ability to find a way to lose, which I guess is a skill.
It is.
It absolutely is a skill. It's a skill.
I'm gonna talk myself in a circle. I don't know who I pick now.
You know what it is? And it's that traumatized feeling like, you know, it's the I really want to do this, but the last time I did this, it was really bad.
Really bad, yeah.
The Panthers probably
Yeah, I got that. They're just gonna find a way to do what they do best. I do not trust them when they do anything right.
The Panthers aren't gonna win. The Falcons are gonna lose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Like the Falcons will be in control of this the whole way, just not for the right reasons. They're gonna control it.
I understand. I
The
get it.
Panthers just have to not mess up the gift that is offered across the table.
Wait them out. Just wait them out to the fourth.
Just wait them out. Then they're gonna be like, "Here, you take it." All right, we got the Dolphins and the Niners. They still haven't put 2 in. We got Ryan Fitzpatrick, and you know, if James plays, I'll be happy. If James doesn't play, 2 and 3, here they come.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Justin.
No, I mean, yeah, that's
That's all I got.
yeah. I don't know more to say outside of Justin talked about Allen having that 5-pick game coming. It's coming for Fitzpatrick too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm actually surprised he hasn't had one yet.
Right.
Because he's. I'm not going to get started on that. I'm gonna take 49ers in this game if James is playing.
Hold on. Just hold on real quick. Ain't nobody throwing 5 picks to a defense with Dante Johnson on it. Relax. Relax. That's automatic. That is an automatic 7 completions. Stop it. Just a matter of when you use them. Automatic. Now, if other people come back this week, I'll feel differently. You see 27 out there? Look, man, it's on you when you choose to hit the button. It's available to you. It's available to you. I can't do the Nick Mullins thing anymore. Cut him. The Dolphins.
As an honorary member of the 49ers fan club.
Oh, you're saying this out in public finally? Wow, this is new for you.
Honorary member.
Okay.
I think we
boy.
I've been supporting you, saying like, you know, it's gonna come around, but you can't throw these games away. Like Eagles aren't a good team. You gotta win that game. The Dolphins, you gotta win that game. You know, and the Dolphins played well against Seattle, but it wasn't well the way they should. Like Fitzpatrick was terrible last week, and you know, I mean, they had a chance to win that game. And Miami, I mean, for San Fran, you can't give these games away if you plan on making the playoffs, especially with the West being loaded. 49ers are one of those teams where that they play a certain style, so you just want to get in the playoffs, but you can't give games away. You got a couple easy ones. What would be considered easy games.
Depends on
You
who's
got to
under
find a way
center.
to win them. You got to find a way to win them with Nick Mullins,
can't
CJ
with-
Beathard.
You cannot, sir. You cannot, sir.
Let Debo take a snap.
How many snaps? It just takes
How
one
many-
for you to mess it up.
All jet sweeps, and screens. But
Oh,
you got
my
to find a way
goodness.
to win this game. That's what it comes down to.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly, because it gets real in 2 weeks.
Right.
All the fun stuff's over. The Eagles was a big loss from the sense of your quote unquote easy looks. Like now there's nothing to say you can't go into the media schedule and come out the other side clean, but it's unnecessary. You would like to go into it with some wiggle room, and you've thrown your wiggle room away if you lose, back-to-back games like Justin said against the Eagles and the Dolphins. I guess the only thing looking forward to this one is just like as bad as everything was, you outgained like everything went last week, but a certain person turned the ball over 70 times. Like that was literally it. Like Carson did what he did with his legs, and I saw a lot of people complaining about that, but I feel like Robert Saleh's content with people doing the thing with their legs if they're not throwing the ball. Obviously, you would like contain to be a little bit better, but I don't think they're going to all of a sudden change everything they're doing because you want to lose your legs. Again, that team had 11 points in 3 quarters with the scrambling. It wasn't the defense. It was, you get down in the red zone, you give the ball away. You start a drive, you give the ball away. You think you're Lamar Jackson, you give the ball away. Things like that do you in. Agency, like the offensive line got to do better, but it's going to be fun in that one because someone got to guard Devontae Parker. He had a good game last week.
Yes, he did.
Again, Dante Johnson watch. I know Spoon might come back this week, so it's a game they need. I'm not going to say must win yet just because the NFC's trash. You got like 4 good teams, and the NFC East is the only division where stuff is kind of so we'll see what happens. But for the Dolphins, nothing to me counts until Tua starts playing. So
Yeah.
they're kind of keeping this whole Tua and Breida both not playing for whatever reason. So it's interesting. Oh, this is fun. Old-fashioned NFC East battle here. Got the Cowboys taking on the Giants. Danny Dimes trying to get his first win of the year. Justin.
Well, I'm interested to see what this defense can do to this Giants offense. Like, you got probably the worst offense, if not the Jets, but the Giants, one of the worst offenses ever versus the worst defense in the league. And can the Cowboys find a way to help the Giants to 25, 28 points? The Giants can't score with the Cowboys. Giants can't score at all. So this defense is not that bad to lose. So there's no way they lose this game. I won't say no way. I take that back. They shouldn't lose this game.
I was definitely about to write that down. No way. Huh?
Okay. I was about to say, you sure you want to pull that guy?
Cowboys
We'll get a whole call on Sunday.
fumble the first 5 plays. No, Cowboys offense. They have been turning the ball over also. That's the thing that's getting overlooked with all these numbers is part of you're falling down big, and a lot of the points are coming against a prevent. A lot of Dak's yards against a prevent, and I think Dak's a really good quarterback. But it's a different game when you're chasing points. Teams are playing a little safer on offense, and the defense is playing safer, and you're picking them apart. But there's a reason you're down early. The fumbles, the bad decisions, the missed assignments on offense. They're just a bad team. It's not, and the defense is bad, but it's a bad team. So, but the Giants are a terrible team. So there's a difference. So they're gonna. They should win this game, and if they don't, they shouldn't attend the playoffs if they make it. They should just walk away.
Anybody else on this game?
I think this game actually might be it might kind of be fun to watch because you got one win in between 2 teams and we're in week 5. Like somebody got to win, man. somebody and the New York don't want to be the butt of all the jokes, and Dallas don't want to be the butt right now either because guess what? They haven't looked very good defensively, but I think Dallas has the edge offensively with Dak. You know, they flowing right now, man. The offense is fine. It's just that defense I worry about, and that's why I'm like, I don't know, man. What you call him, Danny Dimes? That's what they call him, Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes is what they call him. He might drop something on that defense, man. It might be pretty interesting, man. But I'm gonna take Dallas in this one slightly. That's not a shot because you're now a San Fran fan.
A lot. That's a lot. Did you lock it up?
Did I lock it? I'm gonna lock it up. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Dallas. I got you. I'm gonna lock it up.
Oh, wow.
Write that down. Write that down, bro.
Right there.
I remember that.
Cut
I
the tape.
remember that one. Go ahead, Jesse.
No, it's I mean, I'm picking the Cowboys too. It's funny though with McCarthy. I just kind of feel like with him and Aaron Rodgers it was a weird, bad marriage relationship, and they broke up, and we found out who the toxic was. Like they just, you kind of found out like right away, like oh, you were the problem. Okay, all right, got it. Because one of them is balling out, and the other one is not. So, yeah, you know what? I need this Danny Dimes thing to go away. So,
Nope. Forever.
It's Eli rebagged. That's all it is, and you just give him a new nickname. Like I can't take this anymore. This needs to stop. So I hope that Dallas puts him away. Like, just please do it.
Didn't we just talk about how some of the bad quarterbacks in the league have the best nicknames?
We did.
Danny Dimes is actually pretty dope. I like that. But he can't have it yet.
That's the thing. Like, I'd be okay with it if he actually was dropping down. Like he was literally out there like Russell Wilson dropping that,
Right. That's
I'd be fine with that. But I've watched him throw some of the worst passes I've ever seen. He was in training camp in his first year in practice, like in training camp, throwing outs to like people in the stands. Like it was, and there was nobody over there. Like it was insane.
You guys put some respect on your Daniel Dimes' name, and we're gonna keep
probably have a nickname that has something to do with fumbles. I would think.
He's not taking that name. Till they get a win, he'll be penny pinching.
Danny, drop it.
I'm just saying, man, stop that.
So
you guys aren't nice. On to another quarterback, who's long leash, really showing out now with the embarrassment of riches on the roster. We got Baker and the Browns taking on the Colts. Rob, we can start with you, then Jesse, then Justin. We all liking this one.
I'm taking Indianapolis in this game. I like the way that team played last week, man. I like the way they've been playing all season. The defense, and it look like they're the real deal right now. Things can change down the line, but I like the way they're playing right now. I'm gonna ride the wave and take Indianapolis.
All right.
I mean, if Frank Reich didn't show us, in the way he did for Philadelphia, he's definitely doing it now. Like he's taking Phillip Rivers and just kind of holding him up at this point with everything around it. So and this defense does look like a well-oiled machine. Like this is truly impressive. So I'm picking the Colts also.
Justin?
Not a big Phillip Rivers fan at all, to be honest with you. But the Colts are playing good ball. And, the Browns look like they figured it out, but they really haven't played anybody during the streak. So all week I have to judge them off of is that Ravens game, and they look terrible. So you beat up on the bad Cowboys team, you beat up on a bad Bengals team, and I don't remember the other win, but I just think the Colts are a better all-around team, and they have an identity. They run the ball, and they let Phillip take shots when necessary. So I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Yeah, Baker plays for the Browns. Can't trust it. So Broncos, Patriots, 1-3 Broncos. Everything's tough for them. Drew Lock's gone. A lot of fun, young weapons to watch. This one for me, I don't know. I definitely can't speak for you all, but if Cam's not around, there's no reason to watch this game at all, in the least. And all of y'all that were really trying to make this whole quarterback competition, New England, y'all, some very special people in this world. What is wrong with y'all? I didn't even watch the game the other night. I just watched Twitter and it was hilarious. And it just justified why I shouldn't have watched the game. That's what was there. And no, Bill's gonna make it. Bill knows exactly what Cam Newton is. He's one of the few guys that beat Bill Belichick. That's why Bill couldn't wait. That's why they kicked the tires early and then they came back around later because they know the rest of the NFL is stupid. They want to make sure that when we got to this moment and Cam's out of options, Cam could be like, hey, you know what? Y'all did check on me first. Bill knows the rest of y'all is slow. Bill's perfectly aware of this. Bill also knows what he doesn't like to deal with. He saw one of the things that gets on his nerves the most just sitting out there. He was like, sure, why not? Let's try this another way. And we have options, all schedule stuff. We can do anything. But yeah, if he's not there, they got Vikings Seahawks. Not gonna say that. Vikings Seahawks. Russ, Kirk Cousins. Fun times, I guess. Jesse, you like it?
Seahawks. I mean, it's gonna be Russ gonna keep cooking. Like it's just a thing to where it's a battle of two quarterbacks that are literally going opposite directions. So it's you'll see that MVP style from Russ. So it'll be fun to watch from one side of the ball at least. But yeah.
I'm gonna say going in the wrong direction. I mean, he just found out that Justin Jefferson plays on his team last week. I mean, that's right. Like
he was like that guy dancing over there. Oh, it's a receiver.
Man. I know Diggs isn't there. We did draft one of those. So I mean, he found that out. But yeah, DK, Viking secondary, food, Russ. Yeah, Rob and Justin, you guys thoughts on this one?
I got MVP in the Seahawks. I got Russ as my MVP right now, man. Dude's playing lights out football.
Way to go on a limb. Very brave of you, Justin.
I'm gonna go with Rob on that one. But
I got Russ as my MVP.
I don't think the Seahawks are good, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously they're good, but they're just not as good as they're a little overhyped. It's a lot of Russ, in my opinion. Like Russ is doing a lot. It's a terrible defense, but Vikings are bad too. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks in this one.
Yeah, I think with Seattle, I don't think we're gonna see them get like pushed around or tested, like in terms of where their weaknesses are until the division games start for them. Honestly, get a couple teams that kind of know them a little bit better because a lot of the teams outside of the division, it's like they realize where the issues are, but they take their time getting around to them, and they're like, that's 3 Russ possessions. This isn't the Seahawks of old. 3 Russ possessions now. I mean, that could be 21 points. This isn't, run left, run right. Russ, save me. It's Russ, go fix it. Like off the early now instead of waiting for the fourth quarter. So, yeah, I'm with you guys. Last but not least, we got the Chargers and the Saints. Oh, I got a question, guys. Real quick question. So, you guys know the team that I root for. They're 2-2. Can somebody tell me why nobody's making a lot of noise about, for the most part, pretty healthy New Orleans Saints being 2-2? Because I was told they were like Super Bowl contenders and all this other stuff yet again for the 5th time in 5 years. They're 2-2. What's going on? I'm just asking you guys.
I said the same thing, man. I said the same thing because people keep putting their faith, and I'm going, are you all watching this team play? Like, what? They're not Super Bowl nothing. They're not. Like, yeah, they'll do what they do. There are a few games this year, but they're not going to the Super Bowl. That talk needs to stop, But with that being the case, I don't know if I'm ready to trust Herbert just yet and being able to pull out this win in New Orleans. Granted, there's not really any fans there, but it's still the atmosphere is going to be different, So I'm going to take the Saints in this game, but I'm definitely not sold on them being the Super Bowl contender. They can cut that noise out.
I think it's a skill. It's like the Saints with Peyton. It's a skill to be able to beat teams that you're supposed to beat. And I mean, I think that's what it is. Like we watch the Saints lose to a team that's a good team, and then they play a bad team and they look good. So you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe they're all right. Then they play a good team and they do what they do. So I think that's where we're at. Like last week, they played a bad Lions team and put up put up some numbers. So now everyone's back on the wagon. And now Drew Brees can throw again, and everything's fine. And the Chargers have a good defense, so it should be a decent game. But do you trust Herbert? Herbert will make a couple nice plays, but he's not there yet. So the Saints probably win this one too. So they'll build up till they run into another legit team and basically show their true colors.
I'm with you. I mean, I don't know. It's Saints. It's coming. Like they just keep looking at Drew Brees and saying, okay, he can try to hold this team up, but he can do this, he can do that. And he just looked washed last year in the first couple games of this year. So he has a good game and everybody freaks out like he's still that guy. And it's like, no, he had a good game. Let's put it back in perspective. But they gave him the benefit of the doubt in the same way they gave Brady the benefit of the doubt. So this team is exactly what, if you are realistic about it, it's exactly what you think they are. They're a decent team with a really talented running back. So it's just that team's not going to go anywhere. And if they do, they're going to get bounced out in the first round like they should be used to by now. So no, it's something that the Saints will win this game, and everybody kind of put up if Drew Brees puts up decent numbers, it'll be 2 games in a row, and everybody's going to talk about how he's back and blah blah blah. But then they're going to go right back on that slide. So enjoy it now, New Orleans.
You guys are so positive, so upbeat. So we're Saints fans truly appreciate that.
I got a random thought. Like, just looking at that list, there's a lot of bad teams in the league. Like, there's not look at the list. There's maybe 7 good teams in the league, and that's why we're having so much trouble picking these games, because all these teams are bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scary. Like, besides the top of the AFC and maybe 3 or 4 teams in the NFC, it's a lot of 1 and 3s and 2 and 2s, and that's why a team like the Saints keeps getting pushed up, or the Bucks are getting pushed up, because there's nothing there.
Yep, and that's why I'm kind of like holding out just outside hope or whatever. Like, just make the playoffs. Like, the 7 spots, you think I made the playoffs? I don't care how bad. Like Jesse, you were talking, like, obviously, you and Justin were mentioning you don't want to drop these games early on, but at the same time, like, there's an extra playoff spot. You just got to get the last spot on the totem pole, go in, be relatively healthy, and then things are gonna happen as they need to happen if you're healthy come that time. But I mean, like, that's the biggest thing. Like, the Seahawks are in the dead out sprint right now. They're sprinting how San Fran was sprinting last year early on. And I don't think the Seahawks are going to get any resistance until the division, similar to San Fran last year. Not until the division games. I think they're going to – I'm not even going to look ahead at their schedule. I doubt they catch an L until a division opponent. And they're going to keep sprinting outside of the division games too. So that's one team off the early. Another team in the NFC. Like, there's so many teams, like, even right now that started off good, I don't know in 3 games what their record is going to look like. All this is going to keep – it's going to be just a big mess of teams, between, like, we can say it, after the Seahawks in the NFC to this between 2 through 7 is going to be just a mess. You can have your division winners and pretty much the survival of the fittest outside of that. Because every division is not going to be uber competitive. Like you guys mentioned, y'all's division, like 2 wins put you almost in front of the pack right now. 2 wins, you puffing out your chest looking around like, hey, we're here. Y'all not the only division like that.
One tie might win is win your division. That tie.
Like 6-9-1 might win a division.
Which is insane. It's like going to a party with a really nice shirt on, but you look at your sneakers and they're real beat up, and you got the grease stains on your jeans, and but that shirt is really, really nice though. And that's kind of what being the top of the NFC East is. Like, it's a really nice shirt, but there's nothing else to it. So it's just so bad.
That's probably the best analogy I've ever heard in my life. Like it's like you got the Gordon Gartrell on, but your jeans and your shoes are always
Oh man. All right. Well, thank y'all for hanging out with us this week. We'll let you know if we'll be back next week. If not next week, the following week for sure. So all right, hope you guys had a good time. I know we did. We'll see y'all guys soon. Y'all need help. Y'all need help.